in the tank, but in that Rover. Man, please, I'm in the zone like AIDS full blown. I'm killing it like a blind man reading. I'm feeling it. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. E-double-L, I said so. I keep big bills up in my hood on the dirty like blood. So ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful. And I got plenty of bread, so I go to bed full line. In it to win it, I'm all in. I might call you my cuz, young blood, but we ain't kin. You think of jumping, man, you best think again. The dirty, I'm the type of man that might go broke for revenge. Had some not so nice friends, kick the door off the hinge. Take the door off your bins, pop up my four of your friends, man, please. This shit ain't cynical.
You best believe all the R&R fighters gonna be bringing this heat. Every fight, every minute.
But in that road, man, please, I'm in the zone like AIDS full blown. I'm killing it.
We do all
like
that.
a blind man
We
reading. I'm
do all
feeling
that.
it.
Hey, that's what I'm talking
Wait a
about.
minute.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Black Diamond. Welcome to the Real Real. Now, boxing has attracted a lot of colorful characters. Let's say, for example, whatever happened in the rings stays in the ring. Kind of like Las Vegas. What happened in Las Vegas?
I've heard that a couple
You heard that a
times.
couple
I was born in Vegas.
Well, okay. Hey, this is my boy Boom Boom, and he is one of the boxers. I don't know if you're competing.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not competing this Saturday.
This Saturday?
Nope.
Okay.
Just promoting this
What's
Saturday.
going on this time? Well, actually, next Friday, October the 10th, at the Bank of Kentucky at 7:30, is where the fight begins. It's your girl Black Diamond. Check it out. So, Boom Boom, when did you start boxing?
I personally started boxing when I was 12 years old. And then, it grew from a passion, watching extraordinary legends such as Muhammad Ali or, different people like that, the Ray Lewis. I mean, those people really inspired, these young kids. And that's what people do nowadays, such as like the Adrian Broners, the new up-and-coming superstars of the game. And now we have remarkable fighters such as like Brandon Untouchable Bennett, William Action Jackson, and they're fighting this Friday on the 10th at the Bank of Kentucky Center. And it's going to be an extraordinary event, it really is.
Okay. Now, the event is awful big.
It's huge. Yeah.
So, what part do you play in this? You're not fighting. What part do you play in?
Well, I'm the coordinator of productions for R&R Promotions with CEO Andrew Williams, and we promote the fighters. Some of them depend on what gym they go to. A lot of them are actually out of here, out of the hub, the Over the Rhine Community Center. But a lot of them come out to different gyms. I'm one of the trainers. We do sparring, we do road work with them. Really get them prepared to put on a good show for these young kids.
Okay. And I know there's certain techniques, there's certain kind of rules. I guess we'll get into later on. But the attire, proper, I won't say attire, but it's not attire, proper safe equipment. What type of equipment do you need to have?
Well, as you see, you got your pretty matching gloves on, The gloves, they're padded, as you can feel, and that is for a couple reasons. Obviously, it prevents from cuts. Obviously, with the knuckles, if you were to have a straight, bare knuckle street fight, as you probably imagine, it gets pretty bloody pretty quick. So this obviously pads the opponent from getting cuts. I mean, even though you still can't get cut with the right strikes, but you can get preventing cuts and preventing damage of your hands. So as you're punching, obviously, you don't want to be banging up your hands, you can't live the fight too long, huh? So with that, you're protecting your hands. You have under the fight, on the fight gloves, you wear gauze. So you'd be wrapped up with gauze and tape. So then you protect your hands. They have to be regulated by the commissioner. Then you would have on your protective cup, your groin cup. What the groin cup does is obviously self-explanatory. It protects your groin area. You'd also wear the shorts, not really for protection, but especially with people like Adrian and Brandon Bennett, they come out with some pretty flashy attire. So that's just more so cosmetic. But for protection, also you have the mouthpiece. Also, sometimes we put the Vaseline on their face, so the punches kind of graze off a little more, slide off a little easier, so it's not such a blunt trauma.
Like back in the day when you fight people, you got Vaseline?
Yeah, I remember that. Remember the razor under the tongue?
No, I don't know about all that.
That's not part of that.
No.
I was raised in it. Okay.
Okay. Okay, now that we're in the ring, I know it's just not a ring. I know certain things and certain things. Can you kind of give us an outline
Okay, yeah. Let's go through. I mean, obviously it's hoisted up wide for better visibility for the ongoing spectators. And we have the ropes. Obviously, this is also protection as well. Because why? If I get blasted by one of them shots you were hitting me with, I can just bounce off of the ropes, and continue to fight versus falling out. Surface. This is we call it a canvas. Okay, and the canvas allows for gripping. So as people are moving, I step off here, I can really dig in, I can really grip onto the surface. And it also allows it to not still be hard, because under it, you might feel that little squishiness. Under the canvas, there's a styrofoam, you might be able to notice kind of poking out through there. And the styrofoam, obviously, if you were to have a street fight, you get cracked on and land up out on the concrete, that wouldn't feel too good. But so we protect the fighters a little more by having the under the canvas is that squishy foam.
Okay.
Yeah. And let's say you got these ring stays here. They say ringside on them. These ring stays, what they do is they allow the ropes to stay evenly placed, and also again keeping them in place. So if indeed you do got the ropes like Ali style with the rope, you're not indeed falling out of the ropes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this anything particular, or is this just hold?
It's a little buffer again with the turnbuckles here. These are made out of steel, so obviously you wouldn't want your back to be against there, and you mess up your back or spinal cord. Obviously that can cause you become paralyzed. And we don't want that either.
Okay. Now there are certain types of styles, shall I say, like jab, other different.
Well, those are different type of punches.
Punches, that's what I mean.
Yeah, there's different styles of punches. There's different styles of actual fighting. I know a lot of people, they have really grown accustomed to seeing like the Ali's, more of an upright, kind of dancing around, kind of really moving style. Then you have like the Mike Tyson, real in tight, type of bulldozer type of style. You have like the Lennox Lewis fighting very long. Then you have, like you said, your basic punches. You have the punches such as a jab. That's what we worked on earlier.
Right. Let me see if I can remember.
You ready? You want to see it?
Ready.
Pop that one down, and we'll roll it out. Exactly. And then you see the style I just did there, the Philly style shove. Now that's something that Money Mayweather is very known for, and he's become world-renowned, famous for, is that Philly style shove. Protecting here, protecting the body here, protecting your body here, and protecting your face here. So it's really been known as the mecca of all defenses in boxing. And a lot of the young kids now have really adapted to that style. But again, we have our jab. That's the punch you threw before. Now, I'm gonna pop quiz you. The jab is your strong hand or your weak hand?
Strong.
No, that's your recessive hand. Your
right.
recessive hand, because you're doing what with that hand?
Just jabbing.
You're just setting up all your hard power shots,
okay.
Right? So if you're in your stance, right, you're right-handed, correct?
Right.
So what arm and leg should be back?
Right.
Your dominant side, correct?
Okay.
Excellent. Just like if you're throwing a football or baseball, you would like that to be back. So you're setting up now, turn over, punching with the fingers, the knuckles right next to the thumb, your index and your middle thumb. You're gonna turn them over and connect, pow, to your target, right? So you're gonna be throwing your jab and you're stepping. Boom, and that's a jab. Then you have your cross, to where you can turn your hip, bang, right here. Turn straight over, yep. So you have your jab, you step, boom. You throw your cross, and boom. Exactly.
Oh my God, I should have had this in first grade. I told you I had a fight in the first grade, got beat up, and I haven't had a fight since.
Wait a minute.
I should have known this.
Got to be more careful.
Got to be more careful. It was my best friend that beat me up too.
That's not right. I don't think y'all best friends no more.
Well,
I think that was like the several
That was
times.
the seventh time. That is the seventh time.
Man, but yeah, so definitely different techniques. You hit to the face, to the body. There are different regulations and rules. You can't hit behind the head. You can't hit below the waistline. Obviously to the groin area. You cannot hit to the back of the person. They say if I were to fight you and I were to turn away, you're not permitted to hit me in the back. There's different things like such as the spine, and you got to really watch out for serious life-threatening injuries. Where if I were to injure your spine, you wouldn't be able to walk for the rest of your life. There's certain things. If I hit you in the back of the head, you could actually become paralyzed or potentially die. We have had like Boom Boom Mancini, not me, the other Boom Boom. Right? But Boom Boom Mancini actually murdered someone in the ring. I mean, so this really can become a serious contact sport to where there can be life-threatening injuries. So protection cautions, I mean, they're really implemented to really, protect the fighter, even on an amateur level. They wear the headgear. The pros, you see them on TV, and we don't have any headgear on, but the amateurs, they wear a protective headgear. It doesn't really always blunt the pain, but it does blunt concussions, and that's something that could be down the line. You see people with Parkinson's disease, such as Freddie Roach or Muhammad Ali even had it, and it's induced by trauma to the head. So we definitely want to protect against that.
Okay. Well, we appreciate that. We're going to go into, I guess, more of the history, talk to Andrew a little bit, give him some history. talk to Jose Santana, learn a bit more about some things going
Now,
on?
I'm gonna give you a little insight.
Okay.
Jose Santana, he's like the 8-time world champion. Okay. When you see him on camera, he looks kind of small, but I'm telling you, take his shirt off, he's like, you know, he's
So he
really
boxed
ripped.
too?
Yeah, he's really ripped up. He's like an 8-time world
He's
champion.
coming with his backpack like this.
No. That's all modesty. That's all being humble. You know, he's really a ripped up guy. It's really quite a sight to see when he gets in the ring. I mean, he's beating up every third grader. It's really.
Every third grader.
That's it. I know.
Yeah, you said that loud.
Pineapple, son.
Hey, so when we come back, I'm coming after you, Santana. It look like I'm doing it. Wow, that's kind of hard. So Jose Santana. So what else? Give me first some insight of what your job is, your duties are for this promotion.
Okay, well, for R&R Promotions, I'm the director of media relations. So basically, everything I do with the company is I handle any and all communication with the press, promoting the event through public relations work, and also just some regular promotions work such as ticket sales and things like that.
Okay. So tell me, how do you pick the fighters, the boxers?
Well, with R&R Promotions, we're lucky to be in the city of Cincinnati where we have just a great group of boxers that are coming up through the amateur programs, and we get to, kind of take a look at all of them and see who's got talent and who we think is a promotable guy. And also, we look for boxers with character. And here in Cincinnati, we have a lot of that. We have plenty of guys to choose from. And so when we do an event like this one coming up at the Bank of Kentucky Center, we sit down and we say, okay, who do we got available to fight? Who's an attraction? And, who do the people want to see? And here, for us at R&R Promotions, we have a big stable of guys, all the way from the top. We got Adrian Broner, down to we have Brandon Bennett and Rashid Warren, the up-and-comers. And then we also have guys who are in their infancy right now, like Javon Garnett and Aaron Hollis, who will be fighting, opening up this card on next Friday.
When you say characters, like Muhammad Ali characters, were their character, or you have your other, who else is that fought the certain characters?
Yeah.
Is the characteristics about them, or is their style?
Well, as we all know, there are plenty of characters in the sport of boxing. You got your Muhammad Ali guys, and we do have one of them in our stable. We have Adrian Broner, but we also look for guys with tremendous characters, such as good young men, positive contributions to our community. Stuff like that. And, Adrian Broner is actually one of those guys. We have other people, like Danny Calhoun, who owns his own gym called the Punch House here in Cincinnati. That's very popular. Men who are looking to do good things in the community, positive things, and to contribute to the city of Cincinnati.
Okay. When's the fight?
The fight is October 10th, Friday, October 10th at the Bank of Kentucky Center. Doors open at 7 o'clock, and fights are going to start soon after. And we have a big night of boxing planned. We have 12 fights right now scheduled. So it's going to be a full action-packed night of boxing.
So how long have you been involved in boxing? Not just with R&R, but just in boxing in general?
I've been involved in boxing for a while now. It's going back almost about 6 years. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and I worked with a promoter.
You fight all the time up there. No, I'm kidding.
I worked with a boxing promoter in Cleveland for a few years. We did several big cards. We did a card, one event that was on ESPN, Friday Night Fights, back in 2010. And then when I made my way out here to Cincinnati, that was when I linked up with Andrew Williams and joined the R&R Promotions team.
Okay, that's what's up. So now I guess we can talk to Andrew, do a little history of boxing.
Yeah, and Andrew has a lot to tell us about the history of boxing in Cincinnati and the history of our fighters.
That's what's up. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
And you're out.
It's your girl Black Diamond, back with Real. Andrew Williams, the CEO of this whole production. We're going to get a little history from him regarding the show that's coming next Friday.
Happy to see you. Friday Night Fights. It's going to be at Bank of Kentucky. And we're really excited. This fight, and I'll tell you a little secret about this fight. This fight is the guys that weren't able to fight on September 6th. We had a big show September 6th with Adrian Broner, who everybody's familiar with, 3-time world champion from Cincinnati, Ohio. And we had so many fights on that card that we had to move some fights elsewhere. So we took about 7 fights off that card. There's so many talented kids here in Cincinnati. They said, Showtime said, hey, Drew, it's just too many fights. We'll be here all night long. So we had to take about 7 guys off that card. So it was my goal to fight them again, fight them quick, because I knew they were all getting ready and preparing and stuff like that. So I said, we're going to put them on a big show. We're taking them to Bank of Kentucky. We're just really excited about putting on this show and showcasing these other guys that didn't fight on the card.
Okay. Well, that's a nice, consider it boxing. Where does it come from? Who, a little history of boxing.
The history of boxing in Cincinnati is vast. Cincinnati is a city that boxing started. The origination of boxing started right here in Cincinnati. The first glove boxing match, as we know it, originated right here. So we're the birthplace of boxing. So when you look at Cincinnati and the history of boxing, we've had 6, I think, maybe 7 world champions come right out of this city. It's tremendous. We have tremendous talent. We've sent more Olympians to the Olympics for boxing than any other city in the United States. So when you start looking at those things, we got a really rich history in boxing, and we're really proud of where we are and where we came from.
So how did you get into the boxing industry?
I got into boxing. A friend brought me into the game, and his name is Mike Stafford. And as we well know, he's a world-renowned coach. He's Adrian's coach, Rashid Warren. So all these talented fighters that come out of Cincinnati and all these guys that were Olympians and going to the Olympics, they went through Mike Stafford. So when you look at this, the talent pool that's happening right here, you got to go and look at the factory. And you're in the factory. This is where everything, originated. This is where Mike is, and this is where all these talented fighters are. So, like I said, you can't, in answer to your question, Mike brought me in, but we can't forget about the guy that makes all these talented fighters. So, you got to look at the factory. And the factory originates with Mike Stafford.
Tell me about put down the guns and put up the gloves. What's the concept of that?
The concept is, there's a lot of violence in the city, and we decided it was time to bring it back out. We started in 2009, and we've done it ever since, but the violence is still here. And, over this last week, we've had 5 shootings in Cincinnati, so how appropriate a time to be putting on this, event that's put down the guns and pick up the gloves, to urge youth to, this is a different outlet. You know what I mean? We don't have to solve all our problems by putting a gun and shooting each other. We look at boxing as the outlet. And some people may say, well, you're asking people to fight. Well, no, they're not fighting, they're boxing. And there's a lot of discipline in boxing as you learn from Boom Boom, as he was showing you around, the gym and stuff like that. It goes back to nutrition, discipline. You have to come and work out on a regular basis. So these are kind of things that keep young men occupied when we try to keep them off the street and, guns out of their hands and, try to get them in the gym and do something constructive with their life.
Okay. I'm glad that you said that was going to be my next question. People are going to say, okay, boxing, since that's such an arena of combat, then how do you put that along with keeping kids off the street doing things? So that's important that you say it's nutrition, it's discipline. Like Boom Boom was showing us the arena, or what do you call it?
The punches. It's not just like fighting. I mean, you get 2 people into a fight, and you kick and this and that. There are rules and boundaries in here. You have to go by those rules and boundaries, just like they have to do out there in the streets. Okay. You know what I mean? There's rules, there's boundaries. Laws say you can't do this, so you don't do this, and it doesn't get you end up locked up. So same boundaries exist here. You know what I mean? There's certain things you can do and cannot do in the ring, or you can be disqualified. So everything comes back to, and I always urge these young men that there are rules, and you have to abide by those rules. If you don't, then you have to be dealt with. And when that time comes, you understand because you broke the rules. Yeah.
So how do you find these young men?
They're young men from broken homes. They're young men that are out there. You know what I mean? They're young men that are coming from complete households. So it's just a different group of guys that either they like it or they don't, or for whatever reason they come. They may come because of me. They may come because of Coach Mike. They may come because they see Adrian, a 3-time world champion at 24 years old. When you have something like that, then your gym gets full. So we went from a gym that maybe had 10, 20 kids to a gym that's got 70 kids because you got a world champion. So that's inspiring youth out there.
Okay. Let's talk about the flyers you have right here. There's some stuff going on here.
Yeah, and this is for the event that's coming up. And again, it's Friday Night Fights. It's October 10th, and it's going to be at Bank in Kentucky. Yeah. And beautiful, beautiful place over there. You know, it's our first time doing a boxing event over there, but we've done many promotions over there, and they're great people to work with. But this is the first time for boxing. They've been excited about boxing. They always wanted to do it, but we couldn't find the proper time. So this show, I felt like it was proper. Excuse me, and I'll tell you about some of the guys that's going to be on the show. We've got Danny Calhoun, who's 4-0 right now. Danny has his own gym, Punch House Gym, you know, which I'm sure you'll visit sometime. But he's a business owner in the community, and he's out there fighting, and he's pretty good. You know, he's a heavyweight. He's going down to cruiserweight, and we're expecting great things out of him. Then we've got Aaron Hollis, who is 1-0, new to the professional game, but has been on the amateur scene for many, many years. And we're really proud of him and what he's doing and what he's accomplishing. Devontae Allen, who is an amateur, I think he has about 175 amateur fights. He's a pro now. His record as a pro is 2-1. He came off a really tough loss at the last fight that we put on at Horseshoe Casino, but we're looking for him to make a comeback and get his career back on track. We've got David Dede Long, who's a heavyweight, heavy hitter. You know, he's one of the most popular fighters out there. Everybody comes to see Dede. Whole Avondale shows up for him. Then we also got William Jackson, Action Jackson, who's right from the over the Rhine area, right down here. Kid that's, you know, had been in trouble and turned his life around. He has a record now, 12-2, and he's a WBC champion right now. He'll be defending that title on our next fight down to Horseshoe Casino. Okay, and then you've got Brandon Bennett, who's going to main event this card. Bennett is the next, in my opinion, our next world champion to come out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And in a city that's so small to have 2 world champions at one time is tremendous. So we're looking for good things from Brandon. He's got a record of 17-1. He'll be our main event.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I also should tell you about Ricardo Williams, who was an Olympian. He's silver medal. He's making a comeback of his career, and he's fighting on this card too. He'll be the co-main event.
Oh, that's going to be hot. That's exciting. So give us, tell America, tell the world. So when is this all going to come out?
Okay, it's going on October 10th, and it's going to be at Bank in Kentucky Center. Beautiful facility. I urge everybody to come out, enjoy yourselves, and bring your kids. It's a family atmosphere, and just see what kind of talent exists right here in Cincinnati.
How you get tickets?
Right in our backyard. You can get tickets on Ticketmaster. Okay. You can get them from Boom Boom, who was over here working out earlier. You also can get tickets from any of the fighters or Hard to Knock shop here in Cincinnati. So you can get tickets at Hard to Knock shop, go to any Ticketmaster outlet. You can go to NKU and get the tickets there. And this facility, believe me, is one of the #1 facilities in the sort of Midwest area. It really is. So we're excited to go over there. And, you know, it's our first promotion ever in Kentucky.
So I want to bring the other 2 guys. I know this is improv. Bring them in real quick. You guys come on over here. We're going to tell you guys where to come, where to be, what to do, what time, all that kind of stuff. Jose,
Santana,
Boom Boom, your girl Black Diamond. So where they gonna be at next Friday night, guys?
Bank in Kentucky Center.
That's what I'm talking about. Your girl Black Diamond. What now? Where we going?
Bank in Kentucky Center.
October 10th. It's gonna be, we'll shut down the city on both sides of the water.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, y'all don't